Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 2. Now, I did predict a 2-1 scoreline, but I predicted that Barcelona would win. And for the first 45 minutes, it looked like it might come true. But I did say that it's too close to call. It could go either way because there's one X factor that Real Madrid have that no other team, not only in Spanish football, in world football, they don't have that. And that's Jude Bellingham, who right now seems like not only can he do no wrong, it seems that even when he has a modest average game by his standards, he can still raise his level to make the difference, to make that telling contribution. And to be honest, I think if you look across the first 70 minutes, or I don't think Bellingham had a good game. I think if it was any other player, probably they would have been taken off. I thought he was very well marshaled by Barcelona. Barcelona had a complete handle on him. But then that goal completely changed the complexion of things. So we'll talk about that. But I also want to point out that perhaps we all have to probably acknowledge that we might be in the midst of watching one of the most incredible individual seasons that we've ever seen in world football for a long time. Because at the moment, I mean, I know we got Erling Haaland last season and all the things that he did. We just feel that with Jude, I don't think Haaland excites me in the way that Jude Bellingham excites me. Maybe because I'm not a Manchester City fan, but just feel that there's something about Jude Bellingham that you every game that you watch him. And I think partly it's because you expect Haaland to score goals. That's his MO, right? Goal scoring. That's his MO. You don't get goals from Haaland, you get nothing. So you get goals from Haaland, that's great. But I think with Jude Bellingham, he came into Real Madrid's side not being a regular goal scorer, somebody who hasn't scored a lot of goals prior to this in his career. But yet he's come here and every game he seems to be scoring, he seems to be making an impact. And I think that is not something that you can take lightly. I think that is what is adding to this mystique, this aura. And of course, the fact that Real Madrid are not as good a team as Manchester City, yet Jude Bellingham is single-handedly the reason why they look so. At times they've been able to get results like today. And that is a concern as well in itself. But let's talk about that first half. Let's start off with that because I thought Barcelona were very excellent in the first half. I was kind of surprised, and I mentioned, and I will say this. I think the team selections. I think Ancelotti got it wrong in that first half. Toni Kroos should not have started this game. I think Luka Modric should have started this game, and I'll come to that in the second half. Why I thought why that was correct, because Luka Modric for me, because I don't think Toni Kroos in a game like this, you need somebody who's going to control the midfield, because Barcelona are all about the midfield. So as long as you control the midfield, you'll always create chances, you'll always create opportunities. And I think Toni Kroos at this stage of his career is he's not a midfield controller. He's more of an enforcer. He's more of the kind of guy who's going to maybe get you some outrageous one, like the dynamic pass or that outrageous shot. He can do that. I don't think he's someone who can control midfield like Modric can. Both of them don't need to start together. Only one of them should have started, and I think that should have been Modric. So I think Ancelotti got that wrong. But Barcelona, I was a little bit surprised why Romeu didn't start, but I think that was the right decision. Not starting Romeu was the right decision. He should not have started the game. And I thought Barcelona's midfield actually did quite well. Gundogan, Gavi, and Fermin Lopez in that first half looked very good. And I actually, in my preview, I couldn't mention Gundogan, but I was thinking this is the sort of game where Gundogan could make an impact, because this is what he made his name for at Manchester City, where he could come up with clutch goals in these sort of situations. And he did today, his first ever goal for Barcelona, and what a time to get it. And it's a good finish, and it's very good as well, because Real Madrid kind of half clear the ball, they win the ball back, but they don't really clear it. And then Alaba, is not strong enough. I don't think Alaba has had a good season, although he did make a good block towards the end of the match. But I think overall he hasn't had a good season so far. He's been culpable. Even in the Atletico Madrid game, he was culpable for some of the goals that were scored there. So he has been a little bit slow. And I think here he was a little bit slow to react as well. Didn't quite do as well. But credit to Gundogan, made sure that he anticipated and he didn't give up on it. And once it falls to him in that second chance, he just smashes it and finishes it nicely to make it 1-0. And Barcelona were leading and they were coasting. And this is the one problem that Barcelona have, is the fact that even though they score so many goals, they also leave the chances to score so many goals. They miss opportunities, and they did that in the second half. In the first half, they should have got a second goal. They should have tried to get a 2-0 lead and keep it and make the game beyond Real Madrid, but just weren't able to get that second goal. And what happens often in these sort of games is that at halftime, if you're 1-0 down, you can always make a comeback in the second half. You can always rile yourself up. You can always make some tactical changes, and you can come back in the game. And as the team that's leading, you don't want to give them that opportunity. You want to get that second goal, make it more difficult, not just in terms of scoreline, but also psychologically. But I don't think Barcelona did that. And then second half, things started to change when he first brought on Camavinga. I thought that was a good decision. I don't think Mendy, for me, I don't know what he brings to the team anymore. I don't think Camavinga is the answer left back, but I definitely don't think it's Mendy, because he was all over the place. Camavinga coming on gave them a little bit more control in that sort of midfield area. Even though he plays as left back, I think he gives them a lot of control in the midfield areas because he plays as that nominal midfielder. But then the trick was bringing on Modric. And I thought that was the right decision, bringing on Modric, because as soon as Modric came on, you could see that he had more control. Real Madrid had more control of the midfield. They were, finding those pockets of space, because that is what Modric can do very well. Kroos can't do that. He's got his own skill sets. He's not someone who can do what Modric can do. And I thought in this game, that's why Modric would have started, because they would have had more control right from the start. But once he came on, you could see Madrid getting a hold of it. The goal that Madrid did score had a bit of fortune about it, because it's a clearance from Barcelona that falls to Bellingham. And right now, I would say 10 out of 10 times he scores that goal. But if this was Bellingham, who was probably the Bellingham of Dortmund, which is probably, we've got to say that that's the mean. We don't know what the Bellingham's mean is at the moment, because he's doing so well for Real Madrid, that this might be his mean. But if you go with the mean of Dortmund, I think Bellingham probably misses that 5 or 6 times out of 10. He does, right? Maybe even 9 times out of 10 he misses that, and maybe the Bellingham of today misses that maybe 3 or 4 times out of 10. But maybe maybe the mean Bellingham, whichever that is, probably misses it as well quite a few times. But because his luck is in at the moment, and he's doing so well at this one time, he hits it through, he hits it pure. He catches out the Stegen and he makes it 1-1. And that's the one moment where I think Bellingham had a bit of space as well. I think otherwise, Barcelona mastered him very well. And I was almost going to say Barcelona had won this game. I would have talked about Bellingham. Is he a flat right bully? Because he's failed against Atletico Madrid in the derby. Now he's failed here as well. Is he more of a flat right bully? Those questions might have come. A bit harsh, but I might have asked those questions. But I think he answered, if there were going to be any questions, he answered them with that spectacular strike. And up to that point, he had been fairly anonymous in the game, but he made it 1-1. And then slowly you could start seeing Madrid getting more into the game. They were, in fact, they were already in the game, and they took control. They started troubling Barcelona. Barcelona were panicking. I think the problem for Barcelona is at 1-0, they know what they have to do. They know they have to see out the game, and they have to make sure that they get the win no matter what. That's what Barcelona know. At 1-1, I think there was a lack of clarity for Barcelona. Do we try and get a draw? Do we try and go for the win? Because we want to win this game, right? We need to win this game because we're at home. We're playing against Real Madrid. But at the same time, if we go ahead and we lose this game, if we commit too much forward and we lose this game, what's that going to do to us as well? So I think there's a lack of clarity when they level at 1-0. That also was a contributing factor. But that goal, then again, another fortunate goal, second goal as well, probably more fortunate than the first goal, because it's a decent cross from Carvajal, but I think the defenders got it covered. The touch from Modric is what actually takes Inigo Martinez out of the game. If that touch doesn't happen, Martinez has got it covered. There's nothing that that's wrong there. The problem is because that touch comes from Modric, Martinez is caught out of position, and he's got Bellingham on side, but that's not his fault, because he's anticipating where the cross is going to go from Carvajal, not where Bellingham is going to be. So I wouldn't blame Martinez. At first I thought maybe Martinez is at fault, but then I realized he's not at fault, because he's anticipated where the cross is going to be from Carvajal, and he's got that spot on, because if that cross goes undeflected, he's going to clear it easily. But because there's that touch from Modric, and 9 times out of 10, again, that touch from Modric probably ends up, going to Martinez. It goes up going out, out of bounds. It falls behind, goes elsewhere. But in this case, it falls perfectly for Bellingham, and he scores, and he makes it 2-1. A massive introduction for Jude Bellingham into the El Clasico history books, and wonderful finish from him. Wonderful win for Real Madrid as well. A lot of grit, a lot of heart. I think you would have to say that there wasn't a lot of technical display on show from both sides. I wouldn't say it was a high quality game. But Madrid, I think right now these are two teams that don't necessarily play the style that they're known for. I think they're two teams who really are hardworking, grind out, win kind of teams, and therefore you get a result like this, where again one team has to grind out a win, which they did. And but it's an important 3 points for Real Madrid. They go top of the league now on goal difference, and they needed that win, especially after drawing with Sevilla in the last game. They probably would not have wanted to lose this game, and they've done that. They've got the 3 points. They've kept pace with Barcelona. And for Barcelona, it's disappointing, because they were leading, they were doing quite well. For some reason, at second half, everything just kind of fell apart. Probably they didn't react quickly to Modric coming on. Probably Romeo could have done better when he came on as well. So lots of things for them to ponder. I mean, it is still an injury-hit squad for Barcelona, as it is for Madrid. So probably we'll see better when we get later into the season and players start coming back. But it is going to be a blow for Barcelona. You have to say that, because they would have wanted to win today. At home, you want to win. You don't want to be losing to Real Madrid at home if you're Barcelona, and that is going to hit them a little bit. But at the same time, they can take heart from the fact that it was two, rub of the green moments that fell to Jude Bellingham, to a player who at the moment gets a lot of his, the rub of the green moments, and he's doing very well. And don't take this as me saying I'm criticizing Bellingham. I love him. I'm a big fan of him. I want to watch more of him, and I like him. But we have to acknowledge the fact that at this moment in time, he is in a rich vein of form where everything is going right for him. And it will be interesting to see what happens when he has to get through that, because every player has a down phase. It'll be interesting to see what happens when that hits for him. But at this moment in time, he's in a rich vein of form and he's making the most of it. And that is credit to him as well, that he's doing that. And you can't blame him for that. You can't fault him for that. I think that is an admirable quality that all world-class players have as well. That when they're at top form and when they've got everything going their way, they make the most of it. They make sure that they make an impact with it. Score winners, score goals. That's what he's doing, and I think that is something to be commended. So well done to Jude Bellingham, my man of the match. You can vote for yours. Maybe I'm being a little bit, but to be honest, when you score 2 goals in a game like that, you have to be given man of the match, right? No matter what. And I'm sure there might be other better performances as well. But you have to credit that where credit is due. So well done to Jude Bellingham. Well done to Real Madrid as well. It doesn't answer all the questions, but I think it's an important 3 points and an important step in the journey. So something that they can be proud of. But share your thoughts on this game. What did you think about the game? Maybe you agree with everything that I said. Maybe you disagree with what I've said. Maybe you think that no, Jude Bellingham is not just, this is not luck. This is Jude Bellingham. Who this is who Jude Bellingham is. Feel free to mention that in the comments. Always love to hear your thoughts. Smash a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We should appreciate your support. Got a few more videos that we've done, so please watch them as well and subscribe to get notified as new videos drop. Take care. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.